Hello friends, welcome back to our channel. I hope you all are well and doing great. So today I'm back with another video to continue our UCAT test preparation. So as you guys know, we have completed our two sections of UCAT test preparation, that is verbal reasoning and the decision making practice test questions. So now today, welcome to the quantitative reasoning UCAT practice questions. So if you are new to this channel, you can watch our last videos on the tour tutorial of UCAT test, on the question bank tutorials, and on the practice test questions in all the types of verbal reasoning and decision making. So from today we're going to start, or you can say continue, our quantitative reasoning practice test questions. First, let's get some introduction about this, that which type of questions can come in this section, and then we will continue it with some examples. So without any further delay, let's start our video. Quantitative reasoning. Use this question bank to familiarize yourself with the types of questions in this subtest. Before using this question bank, we recommend you walk through the relevant questions tutorial, as it includes in-depth tips and strategies on how to approach and answer each of the different question types. Within this subtest, question tutorials are available on the preparation resources section of the websites. Each question bank contains a large number of questions that is split into sections that you may wish to attempt over several practice sessions. The navigator function at the bottom right of the screen allows you to navigate between questions and sections within the bank. Your progress through the question bank is not retained for future visits. It is therefore advisable to make a note of which questions you have attempted. As you progress through each question, you can click Explain Answer at the top left of the screen to check the correct answer and read the answer rationale. An alternative way to check your answers is to use the navigator to skip to the final questions, then click Next to proceed to the review screen. The review screen will show which questions are answered incorrectly. You may click on a question number to return directly to its location in the bank, where you can check the correct answer and rationale by clicking Explain Answer at the top of the screen. So click the next button when you are ready to begin. So now we are ready to begin, so that's why we will click next button, and this option will pop up whenever you are going to start it. In this they are asking that if you are ready to begin the exam, then select the yes button. Otherwise, select the next no button to return to the previous screen. So as we are ready to begin this exam, so we'll select the yes button. So it will take us to the next screen. which is as the quantitative reasoning practice questions. This question bank contains question bank section 1 quantitative reasoning, question bank section 2 quantitative reasoning, question bank section 3 quantitative reasoning, question bank section 4 quantitative reasoning. The navigator function at the bottom right of the screen allows you to navigate between questions and sections within the bank. The quantitative reasoning subtest assesses your ability to use numerical skills to solve problems. Questions are less to do with numerical facility and more to do with problem solving. You are presented with questions that most often refer to charts and graphs containing data. Most questions are shown as sets of 4 questions, each connected to the same data. There are some questions that stand alone and do not share data. Each question has 5 answer options. You are only able to select one response. An on-screen calculator is available to assist you with this subtest. So you can access this by clicking on the button at the top left of the screen. The calculator can be operated by using the mouse or the number pad on the keyboard. The calculator opens in a separate window to the test screen. So if you click off the calculator window back to the test screen, the calculator will not function until you click back on it. Troubleshooting tips: ensure that num lock is on for the number pad to work. Most calculator issues can be resolved by clicking the on or C button or closing the calculator and relaunching. So if you are setting your test at a test center, you will be given a laminated notebook A4 in size and a pen for making notes. Please click the next button to proceed. Section 1 Quantitative Reasoning. Instructions: you are presented with questions that most often refer to charts and graphs containing data. Most questions are shown as sets of 4 questions, each connected to the same data. But there are some questions that stand alone and do not share data. Each question has 5 answer options and you are only able to select one response. Click the next button to proceed. So now here we have our first question of this type of, you can say, section 1. As we have read that 4 sections of quantitative reasoning have, so each having different questions. So section 1 having 36 questions, and the first question is that they give us the table with some informations in numerical form and arithmetic form. But the question is that calculate the number of people who voted in the constituency in 2016. Option A 21,287. Option B 45,831. Option C 55,225. Option D 59,528. And option E 68,524. So in the last questions, we have only 4 options, but this section having 5 options, and we have to select the only one correct option. So option C is the correct one, as the total number of people who voted, that is number of voters for the purple party plus blue party plus green plus yellow and plus orange, which are given as 23,033 plus 501 plus 7,753 plus 22,798 plus 1,140 respectively. And when we add all this value, we will have the correct option is 55,225. Now we can say that option C is the correct option. So these are the number of people who voted in the constituency in 2016. Next we have a question number 2. Again we have a same data, same information, but the question is different. Now they ask that calculate the number of people who died or moved outside the constituency between 2016 and 2020. So here you can see that there are the people who died or moved, the second one in the 2016 and 2020. From there you can calculate your values using the calculator. So here we have a calculator also, which you can use to calculate your values. So option A we have 4,303. Option B have 9,484. Option C have 12,639. Option D have 13,787. And option E have 13,797. Let's see which option is the correct option. So correct option is option B, as electorate in 2020, that is 85,466, minus electorate in 2016, that is 81,651, which is equals 3,815. So new young voters or people who moved into the constituency between 2016 and 2020 equals 13,299. Now if we subtract this, the above value, which is 3815, from 13,299, we get the number that is 9,484, which is in the option B. This is the correct number of people. So with having same data, we have a different question which says calculate the percentage of people who voted turnout in the constituency in 2020. Option A 37.82%. Option B, 38.72%. Option C, 42.32%. And option E, 69.65%. So here we have a correct response is option E. As percentage turnout which is 59,528 divided by electorate, that is 85,466, multiplied by 100. This equals to 69.65%. So here we have a correct option is option E. Next question is that what percentage of the votes cast did the Purple Party received in 2020? Option A, 28.21%. Option B, 29.47%. Option C, 38.69%. Option D, 42.32%. And option E is 45.62%. Now we have a correct option is option D. Percentage of Purple Party votes equals to number of Purple Party votes, that is 25,191, divided by turnout which is 59,528, multiplied by 100, equals 42.32%. So here we have a correct option is option D, which is 42.32% is the percentage of the votes cast did the Purple Party receive in 2020. A study of podcasts of different lengths shows a relationship between podcast length and the length of advertisements during the podcast. The length of the advertisements in a podcast is a percentage of the length of the podcast as shown in the graph. The podcasts in the study are divided into 4 categories. Based on their lengths. The shortest podcast in the study is 12 minutes long and the longest podcast is 75 minutes long. So here we have a graph chart also, by which you can also calculate your values. In the horizontal form we have podcast length in minutes, and then we have a percentage of podcast length spent on advertisements. And the question is that how much longer is the length of advertisement time in a 28-minute podcast than in a 24-minute podcast. Option A, 4 seconds. Option B, 24 seconds. Option C, 28 seconds. And option D, 40 seconds. Option E, 56 seconds. Now we have a correct option is option B. Both podcast lengths fall into the same category. 0.1 into 28 minus 24 equals 0.4 minutes. equals 0.4 multiplied by 60 seconds equal 24 seconds. So we have a correct option is option B, which is the 24 seconds longer the length of advertisement time in a 28-minute podcast than in 24 minutes podcast. Next we have a same question. So now we have a same question, and the question same information or passage you can say for the same chart is given, as you can see, and there is the same chart, but the question is different, which is that the length of advertisement time in a podcast is 3.6 minutes. So how long is the podcast? Option A 20 minutes, option B 36 minutes, option C 40 minutes, option D 45 minutes, option E 72 minutes. Correct option is option D. To find the category 0.1 multiplied by 30, that is the maximum length of the category rounded up for ease of calculation, equals 3 minutes. So it cannot be in the second category. 0.08 multiplied by 60 equals 4.8 minutes. So it belongs to the third category with an advertisement percentage of 8% of podcast length. Let I be the podcast length, that is 0.08 I equals 3.6 minutes, or I equals to 3.6 divided by 0.08, which equals to 45 minutes. So here we have a correct option is option D. Next question we have question number 7. Again we have a same passage given, as you can take a look at this one, and with the same chart, with same, all the information is same in the as in the previous question. Now they ask it how much time is spent on advertisements in a podcast that is 30 minutes long. Option A 2.4 minutes, option B 2.5 minutes, option C 2.7 minutes, option D 2.8 minutes, and option E 3 minutes. Option A we have 2.4 minutes, and option B 2.5 minutes, and option C 2.7 minutes, option D 2.8 minutes, option E 3 minutes. The correct response is option A, because as 8% of the podcast length is spent on advertisements in this category, so advertisement time is equals to 0.08 multiplied by 30 equals 2.4 minutes. So which we can say that option A is the correct option. Next question is that how much greater is the length of advertisements in the longest podcast in the study than the length of advertisement in the shortest podcast in the study. Option A 1.59 minutes, option B 2.16 minutes, option C 3.22 minutes, option D 11.34 minutes, and option E 12.9 minutes. So So we have a correct option is option A, as add length in the longest podcast, which is equals 5% of 75. Add length in the shortest podcast, which is equals 18% of 12. Difference is 0.05 multiplied by 75 minus 0.18 multiplied by 12 equals 3.75 minus 2.16 equals 1.59 minutes. So here we have a correct option is option A. Next we have question number 9. Now we have a different passage, or you can say different information in a tabular form. The table shows the total tax paid in dollars on annual taxable income. So here we have annual taxable income bracket dollars, tax rate, total tax paid dollars at the top of this taxable income bracket. For example, a person with an annual taxable income of $60,000 will pay $44,990 plus 25% of $60,000 minus $36,250. So Bill has an annual taxable income of $28,950. To the nearest dollar, the income tax he has to pay is option A, $2,895, option B, $3,895, option C, $4,342, option D, $4,510, option E, $5,237. So we have a correct response is option B. Bill pays $895 on his first $8,950. Remaining taxable income, that is $28,950 minus $8,950 equals to $20,000. 50% tax on $20,000 equals $3,000. Total tax from lowest tax bracket plus tax from next bracket, that is $3,000, is equals to $3,895. So which means that we have a correct option is option B. Next we have the same information in a tabular form, but the question is that, for example, a person with an annual taxable income of $60,000 will pay $4,990 plus 25% of $60,000 minus $36,250. Corey has an annual taxable income equal to $2,500 per month. She wants to save money enough each month to pay her tax for the year. The minimum amount to the nearest dollar that Corey has to save each month is option A, $250, option B, 263 dollars. Option C, $338. Option D, $341. And option E, $375. So here we have a correct option is C, that annual taxable income, that is monthly taxable income, $2,500 multiplied by months in the year, that is 12, equals $30,000. Amount of tax on annual taxable income, that is $8,895 on the first, $8,950. Remaining taxable income, 30,000 minus 8,950 equals 21,050. So 15% tax on $21,050 equals $3,157.50. So we have a correct option is option C. Now we have a different question, that Homer has a taxable income of $36,250 per year. What percentage correct to one decimal place of his taxable income does Homer pay in tax? Option A, 11.3%. Option B, 12.5%. Option C, 13.8%. Option D, 15.0%. And option E, 16.0%. Correct response is option C. The second row of the table explains that the total tax paid at the top of his taxable income bracket is $4,990. Homer's taxable income of $36,250 is at the top of this income bracket. So here we have a correct response is C. So as we calculate these whole values, we will get 13.8%, that is correct to one decimal place. Again, we have the same table shows the same data. So now we have the values at the bottom and points, and at the top and points of each income tax bracket are going to be increased by 10%. So what will be the change in income to the nearest dollar after tax has been deducted of a person with a taxable income of $36,250? Option A, $544 decrease. Option B, $499 decrease. Option C, $45 increase. Option D, $351 increase. And option E, $543 increase. Now we have a correct response is option C, as in the lowest tax bracket, $8,950 increases by 10%, which is equals to $9,845, and 10% tax on this amount equals to $9,804.50. Amount of taxable income remaining 36,250 minus 9,845 equals 26,405. And when we add 15% tax on this amount, we will get 3,960.75. Total tax, that is tax from the lowest tax bracket, that is $984.50 plus tax from the next tax bracket, that is $3,960.75 equals $4,945.25. The highest amount of tax on the old system for an income of 36,215 equals $4,919. So here we have change in income, new amount of tax, and then old amount of tax. This is an increase of $45 to the nearest dollar, which is $44.74. That's why we can say that option C is the correct option. Next we have question number 30. This table shows the viewership of 5 prime time programs on a weekday. Media metrics. So first we have programs, then base audience population, number of audience tuned in through services, that is network or cable. Then we have ratings of audience tuned in through services, Cindy's or others. Rating equals number of audience tuned in divided by audience population multiplied by 100. What is the total number of audience who tuned in to program 3? Option A 1161. Option B 1350. Option C 1520. And option D 1728. Option E 1844. So here we have these number of audience. So let's see which one is the correct number of audience. So option D is the correct one, as total number of audience tuned in to program 3 is equal number of audience who tuned in through network services plus number of audience who tuned in through cable services plus number of audience tuned in through Cindy's plus number of audience who tuned in through other networks. So if we look at the values of these 4 statements, then we can calculate it from this one, which is 567 plus 594 plus 2 into 13, 500 divided by 100 plus 2.2 multiplied by 13,500 divided by 100 equals 567 plus 594 plus 270 plus 297 equals 1728. So that's why we have a correct option is option D. Next question we have is that question number 14 with the same information in the tabular form, as you can take a look in this one. So approximately 24.8% of the audience who tuned in through the Sydney's services for program 2 were female. So what number of the audience who tuned in through the Sydney's services for program 2 were male? Option A 70, option B 92, option B 92, option C 132, and option D 168, and option E is 212. So here we have a correct response is option E, as number of audience who tuned in through the Cindy's services for program 2 equals to rating multiplied by base audience population divided by 100 equals 3 multiplied by 9400 divided by 100 equals 282. So 24.8% of this 282 audience was female, and the remaining, that is 100 minus 24.8, 75.2% was male. The number of audience who tuned in through the Sunday services for program 2 that were male equals 282 multiplied by 0.752 equals 212. That's why we have a correct option is option E. Now we again have the same information in tabular form, same formula. The question is, if about 33.33% of the audience who tuned in to program 1 through the Cindy's services switched to program 4 through the Cindy's, what would be the number of audience who tuned in to program 4 through the Cindy's? Assume the base audience population that remains unchanged. Option A 50, option B 90, option C 146, option D 210, and option E 434. So here we have a correct response is option C. Number of audience who tuned in to program 1 through the Cindy services equals rate multiplied by base audience population divided by 100 equals 1.6 multiplied by 10,500 divided by 100 equals 168. So then 33.33% of this audience is equals 56. Number of audience who tuned in to program 4 through the Cindy's equals number of audience who switched to program 4 plus number of audience who tuned in through the Cindy's originally equals 56 plus rate multiplied by base population of program 4 divided by 100 equals 56 plus 3.6 multiplied by 2,500 divided by 100 equals 56 plus 90, which is equals to 146, which is in the option C. Next, with the same information, the question is, what is the difference in the overall rating of program 2 and that of program 1? Option A 0.25, option B 0.48, option C 1.00, option D 1.62, and option E 2.00. So here we have correct response is option E. The overall rating of each program is the total rating of people tuned in through network. Cable, Cindy's and others. As the information for Cindy's and others is already presented as a rating, the calculation needs to be made for network and cable services. So next we have these calculations that you can do to find out your answer, which is program 1 network services rating equals 756 divided by 10,500 multiplied by 100 equals 3.8. 7.2 program 1 cable services rating, which is 399 divided by 10,500 multiplied by 100 is equals 3.8. So the overall rating of program 1 is therefore 7.2 plus 3.8 plus 1.6 plus 0.4 equals 13. Program 2 network services rating equals 611 divided by 9400 multiplied by 100 equals 6.5. So program 2 cable services rating, we have 423 divided by 9400 multiplied by 100 equals 4.5. The overall rating of program 2 is therefore equals to 15. So the difference between overall rating of the two programs is 15 minus 13, which is equals to 2. That's how we can say we have a correct option is option E, which is 2. Next we have question number 17. It says the mobile advertising market comprises display, search and SMS ad formats. The graph shows the change in the value of the display ad market from the previous year and the share of search and SMS ad during a certain period. In the year preceding year 1, the value of the display ad market was 1.2 pounds million. So here we have this chart graph, you can see, with the values mentioned in it. Like this. And the question is that what was the value of the display ad market in Y1? Option A 2.9 million pounds. Option B, 3.2 million pounds. Option C, 3.6 million pounds. And option D is 3.8 million pounds. And then we have option E, which is 4.2 million pounds. Okay, so here we have these options, and the correct option is option E. As a percentage in display and market in year 1 is 250%. Display and market in year 1 equals 1.2 million pounds plus 2.5 multiplied by 1.2 million pounds, which is equals to 4.2 million pounds. So that's how we can say we have a correct option is option E. Next question we have that with the same information and with the same chart data, and the question is that what was the difference between the value of the display ad market in year 3 and year 2. Option A, 7.6 million pounds. Option B, 7.9 million pounds. Option C, 8.9 million pounds. 8.1 million pounds. Option D, 8.4 million pounds. And then we have option E, which is 10.1 million pounds. So let's see which option is the correct one. So here we have correct response is option D. As a percentage change in display ad market in year 1 is 250%. Display ad market in year 1 equals 1.2 million pounds plus 2.5 multiplied by 1.2 million pounds equals 4.2 million pounds. The percentage change in display ad market in year 2 equals 4.2 million pounds plus 1.5 multiplied by 4.2 million pounds. Therefore, 4.2 million pounds plus 6.3 million pounds equals 10.5 million pounds. So the percentage change in display ad market in year 3 is 80%. That is, display ad market in year 3 equals 10.5 million pounds plus 0.8 multiplied by 10.5 million pounds. Therefore, 10.5 million pounds plus 8.4 million pounds equals 18.9 million pounds. Difference between value of display ad market in year 3 and year 2 equals 18.9 million pounds minus 10.5 million pounds equals 8.4 million pounds. The correct response is option D. Next question we have is the passage. with this mobile ad market chart graph. The question is, what was the value of the mobile ad market in year 3? Option A, 22 million pounds. Option B, 25 million pounds. Option C, 27 million pounds. Option D, 32 million pounds. And option E is 36 million pounds. Now the correct response is option C, that is the percentage change in display ad market in year 1 is 250%. Display ad market in year 1 is equals 1.2 million pounds plus 2.5 multiplied by 1.2 million pounds equals 4.2 million pounds. Percentage change in display ad market in year 2 is 150%. That is, display ad market in year 2 equals 4.2 million pounds plus 1.5 multiplied by 4.2 million pounds. Therefore, 4.2 million pounds plus 6.3 million pounds equals 10.5 million pounds. So the percentage change in display ad market in year 3 is 80%. That is, display ad market in year 3 equals 10.5 million pounds plus 0.8 multiplied by 10.5 million pounds. Therefore, 10.5 plus 8.4 equals 18.9 million pounds. Now, value of mobile ad market in year 3, which is equals to value of display ad market in year 3 divided by share of display ad market equals 18.9 million pounds divided by 1 minus 0.3 equals 27 million pounds. So that's how we can say the correct option is option C, 27 million pounds. So this is enough for today. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and if you did like this video, don't forget to press the like button. So I'll be back with another video, and if you wanted to buy any best-selling book and any other household daily use product, you can buy it from our website, which link is given in the description box. And if you have any confusion, you can ask me in the comment section. So I'll be back with another video. Till then, just take care and goodbye.